invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it the People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.
Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Condolences pour in as Malawi loses Vice President Solus Chilima and 9 others in a plane crash on Tuesday. Nigerian government declares Wednesday, June 12th, public holiday to commemorate this year's Democracy Day. African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development calls for collaboration with relevant stakeholders to eradicate cases of violence against women and girls in Nigeria. I am Imefonokon with this and more. The federal government has declared Wednesday, June 12th as a public holiday to commemorate this year's Democracy Day. The Minister of Interior, Olubimi Tunji-Ojo, has congratulated Nigerians on the celebration in a statement issued by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Ashatu Ndayako, on Tuesday. The minister called on Nigerians and friends of Nigeria to appreciate the progress that has been made and look forward to a better future for Nigeria's democracy. Tunji-Ojo urged citizens to reflect on the effort of our founding fathers and ensure that Nigeria remains a united, secured, peaceful, and indivisible entity. He further called on Nigerians to remain steadfast on the tenets of democratic governance, adding that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to positive reforms to revive the nation's economy. From Akure, the Ondo state capital, we have finally received the visuals of a protest by a group of youth on Monday. They protested the weekend raid of some nightclubs by operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The youth who staged a protest to vent their anger against the operation of the anti-graft agency were armed with placards with different inscriptions. They called for the immediate release of those arrested by the EFCC officials. The protesters described the EFCC sting operation as illegal and a violation of human rights.
Why are we having fear? Why are they putting fear in our minds where we cannot have freedom in our own state? Now, everybody that goes to the club has seemed to be a Yahoo boy. Now, in Nigeria, youth cannot use phones, youth cannot drive cars, youth cannot use laptops because they see them as fraudsters. How label 127 people, youth, as fraudsters within 24 hours? Which court convicted them? Which judge start for their trial?
You see, when I say, when I be the people where they safeguard us, but no, you people will come, you will beat us, you will come to clubs, you will come to hotel, you will beat us, you will call us thief, you will do us anyhow. What is it? Is enough. People call yourself government, you call yourself government, you say you are here to protect us, but this is too much.
That's why the information that we read from our boss. This kind of strange operation
has been condemned for so long. So we are surprised why they should come around again to carry out this kind of exercise again, which is very, very wrong. So we are protesting. Now, one, we want justice. We want our guys to be freed. We want our belongings, peace, which they took away, including their cars and phones and everything, to be returned, because the activity they carry is illegal. How could they come about with that figures? 127 Yahoo guys doing the Yahoo party.
As conversations around women's socio-economic empowerment and participation in the society continues to gain momentum on the national and international fora, the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, in partnership with a group known as the Side-by-Side Movement for Gender Justice, have stressed the need for increased collaboration between government at all levels and other relevant stakeholders. This is for the purpose of accelerating policy responses within key areas to eradicate cases of violence against women and girls in Nigeria, so as to enable them contribute meaningfully to national development. They made the call at a two-day stakeholders meeting this Tuesday in Abuja. Clayview News Gloriata was there and now reports.
In every society, women play key roles as homekeepers, workers, entrepreneurs and service providers. In spite of clear-cut evidence that empowering women can result in benefits for societies and the country at large, women remain underrepresented in the formal sector and continue to experience various forms of sexual and gender-based segregation. Over the years, there has been increased reportage of gender-based violence cases against women across the country. Reports from the National Human Rights Commission states that no fewer than 158,517 complaints of sexual and gender-based violence against women and children were received in 2021. Currently, Kano State, officially Nigeria's most populous state, and Benue State hold the highest numbers of recorded incidents of gender-based violence in the country. This unsettling record is despite the promulgation of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act by the National Assembly in 2015, which criminalizes various forms of violence against persons, including rape, sexual abuse, harmful traditional practices such as female genital mutilation, domestic violence, among others in Nigeria. In a bid to address this growing menace, stakeholders from different ministries, departments and agencies of government, civil society and non-governmental organizations from across the country have converged on Abuja to brainstorm on how to ensure social justice and equity for women in Nigeria.
There are people the reason is to ensure personally and for them to also share this inputs into what we can do to make the situation in those districts better.
The motive also is to, create a platform for the traditional leaders and the religious leaders to come together to talk about how can we reduce the forms of gender-based violence, rape, female genital mutilation, bullying and harassment, forced marriage, all those forms of gender-based violence. We are coming together to reduce it. And the only way we can reduce it is to bring the leaders who are playing pivotal roles in reducing gender-based violence. And they are our traditional leaders and also our religious leaders. Because in church, they speak about gender-based violence. And also the traditional rulers, they are the custodians of our culture, the norms and values. So all the things they say to the society will contribute to the reduction of gender-based violence in Nigeria.
Participants at the event speak further on how individuals can be active drivers against sexual and gender-based violence in the society at large.
NAPTIP Ondo uses the 5P strategy, and under this 5P strategy, which is the policy, prevention, protection, prosecution, and partnership, is ever ready to collaborate with local, regional, and international stakeholders to ensure the elimination and prevention of the root causes of human trafficking and all forms of violence against persons. Many
a time, the main perpetrator of
gender injustice are our faith leaders, or the supporter of such injustices are our faith leaders. So addressing such matter require collaborating with the faith and traditional leaders that are champion for gender justice to be able to address such a thing in our midst.
Some of the things happening in our legislature is due to lack of the concentration of women in the legislature. Because I know women think always about what will happen to my children, what will happen to my husband, what will happen to my father, what will happen to my mother. But we men mostly think of what happens to me. So the gender justice is very vital in this respect. So the need for sensitization and advocacy on traditional institutions, the faith organizations are very vital.
The meeting also featured interactive sessions by participants at the event. Gloria Atta, reporting for Clearview News.
Celine Dion has disclosed that she had a struggle with stiff person syndrome for 17 years before revealing it to the public. In a recent interview this weekend, Celine Dion revealed that she was secretly battling the illness while managing her late husband, Ren Angelis' cancer, battle and raising their children. The 56-year-old singer, who first revealed her diagnosis in 2022, confessed that she has been experiencing symptoms way back in 2008, but did not know what was going on with her. She lamented that she would have taken her time to figure it out. Dion claimed that, as if it wasn't enough, her husband has been fighting for his own life, adding that she had to raise her kids, had to hide, had to try to be a hero, while feeling her body leaving her. However, she was holding on to her own dreams. Dion recently stated that her stiff person syndrome made her feel she's been strangled, suffering from cramps, and even had broken some ribs. International Nigeria, with EU support, is collaborating with SACEFA and government ministries to improve learning, especially in Zankaya reformation and gender-responsive education sector planning. Also, the unveiling of training manuals for civil society organizations on gender-responsive education sector planning and Zankaya education reformation. Clearview's Florence Joshua brings us details of the event.
The federal government's Universal Basic Education Program, UBE, launched in 1999, aims to provide free, inclusive, quality education for all. However, Nigeria has the highest rate of out-of-school children, 13.2 million, accounting for 45% of out-of-school children in West Africa. To address this, the Nigerian government passed a revised national policy on gender in education in 2021, aiming to increase girls' participation through cash transfers and community engagement. However, implementation and monitoring remain a significant challenge. Meanwhile, the Zankaya education system lacks regulation and support, leaving Almajiri unprepared for the labor market. Despite effort to integrate basic education into the Zankaya system, less than 5% of Almajiri enrolled, highlighting the need for urgent reform.
For years, the Zankaya system has been in existence, where you have children coming into a religious setting and they're given some form of skills, educational training and other skills. But over the years, the context has somehow changed with what is happening now in the world. And so we have found out that it's a well-known fact that over the years, children that are in this Zankaya education sector are usually always on the streets. We know them as the Almajiri's children. And then they don't have the educational qualification that's required to help them in the current context where we live. And so the idea behind it is to see how we can, as civil society organizations, advocate to the owners and the implementers of the Zankaya educational system to see how to transform it without losing the religious value, but to also add the context of the current realities that we live in, so that these children will have basic literacy and numeracy skill along with the religious skills, so that they can better fit into the society that we live in.
The issue of out-of-school children is a collective responsibility that requires collective effort. All hands must be on deck. It has to have a holistic approach from the government, from all the stakeholders, to firstly see how we can bring about security in northwestern part of the country. By solving the insecurity issues, you're solving 50% of out-of-school children. And then we look at other factors like denial from parents, how are we going to persuade them to bring their children to school, and also funding.
The issue here should be around state governors. So we must be able to have state governors that are deeply committed in addressing the issue of out-of-school children in Nigeria. By one, putting it in their strategic plan, two, having it in their budget, and three, release the money to the commissioners and DGs for implementation, and four, have a system in place for tracking and monitoring the results. Because when you pay money, you should be able to monitor and track the performance by checking what is happening. Then five, be able to communicate the findings of their intervention.
Let's bring this Western education, instead of taking the Sangaya students to Western education, let's bring numeracy and literacy to them. So you remain in your system, you remain in your structure. We now bring the ability to read and write to you, so that you don't only know Islamic education, but at least you are able to operate within the Nigeria system, since our lingua franca is English, and to be able to operate here, you need some level of Western education.
Nigeria's education crisis demands attention to address the gender gap, Sangaya reform, and overall sector development for inclusive quality education.
The Edo State chapter of Federation of Muslim Women's Associations in Nigeria, FUNWAM, has called for support from relevant stakeholders towards creating empowerment opportunities for the indigents in the society. The call came during the just concluded FUNWAM Week, an annual event to review their activities in order to move forward. Clearview News' Nafisa Bello completes the report.
In her welcome address, the Edo State Amira of the Federation of Muslim Women's Associations in Nigeria, FUNWAM, Hajia Usainat Audu, appealed to government at various levels and other stakeholders to work together in order to end extreme poverty in the society.
I am highly honored to welcome you all to this June occasion, which is an annual event organized to mark FUNWAM Week, which is the birthday of FUNWAM. FUNWAM is 39 years old, and alhamdulillah. We all know that poverty is a multi-dimensional challenge that affects individuals, families, and communities in different ways. I call on all stakeholders, the government, civil society, and the private sector, and our citizens to join hands in this noble cause. Let us create a future where every individual has access to opportunities.
The guest speaker, Engineer Abdul Kabir Adebule, spoke extensively on the chosen topic, economic empowerment for indigents, a life-changing venture for self-reliance and poverty alleviation, a topic which the chairman of the occasion, Dr. Mustafa Isiaka, while commending the women group for organizing the lectures, said came at the right time, adding that the event is also a testimony that FUNWAM has grown to full adulthood.
We all know that today, even children are aware that things are not easy. It's not easy when it comes to the issue of commodities. Today, to buy tomato in the market is very expensive. When the Muslim is not able to perform his religious duties as it's supposed to be, it might be for oppressive leaders or in society. You can't do your ibadah the way you're supposed to do it. Then that is spiritual poverty. That is also there. Today, we find it difficult to express ourselves and do our religious activities the way it's supposed to be done.
This event is a testimony to the fact that FUNWAM has actually grown to full adulthood. And we should be thankful to Allah that As we are seated here, we have all been at one time or another part of the process of that group. We are now not terminating it.
On her part, the zonal coordinator, Haja Zinat Isimeha, appreciated the state Amira and other members for their contributions towards achieving a hitch-free Form 1 week, which kick-started on the 1st of June 2024, where members engaged in cleaning of different worship centers. They also observed the week with an environmental sanitation exercise and visitation to hospitals.
I commend the state Amira and particularly the local government area branches for carrying out all the activities through this week since the beginning of June 1st.
The climax of the 1 week event was a drama presentation by pupils of Form 1 group of schools. Nafisa Bello, reporting for Clearview News Desk.
The National Council gathered in Soro this Tuesday to bid a final farewell to their beloved national president, Ajia Lami Adamu, whose sudden passing has left a gaping void in the lives of countless women she touched. Clearview's Florence Joshua, who was at the event, brings us details.
All praise and adoration belong to Allah, our Creator, our Nourisher, the Giver and Taker of our souls.
Has dignitaries, including the Vice President's wife, Nana Shatima, and Ministers of Women Affairs, present and past, joined the 7-day fidel prayer where tears flowed freely, mourning the loss of a true icon and champion of women's empowerment. Acting National President Ita Etuk and other former national presidents paid tribute amidst uncontrollable tears while eulogizing Lao's unwavering dedication, visionary leadership and selfless commitment to the cause of women's rights.
She was a leader for excellence and we enjoyed her leadership to the fullest. I will not stand here to cry, but I will give thanks to Almighty God, for we are so pleased to take her at this time. So,
she has taught us, she's a humble woman. Hajia does not have a permanent enemy. I say this one loud and clear. She does not have a permanent enemy in life.
First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, Hajia Nana Shatima, and the Minister of Women Affairs all paid their condolences as they expressed shock and sadness. They praised Lao's remarkable life and her many contributions to the struggle for women's emancipation. They also prayed for comfort and strength for Lao's loved ones and for her soul to be granted eternal rest.
She has done her best, she has contributed her bit, and she has done her best positively. And these are the things that we are truly, especially for me, I'm not up to 50 years, but there are some of you that we all look at our role models. So no matter what, let's learn to accommodate one another.
I am saying farewell to our mother and sister, and I plead with everyone, let's emulate the good character she had, then drop those you don't like. Was a very committed president who was so committed to see the upliftment of Nigerian women. She was in a hurry and very full of zeal and commitment to make a difference in the life of Nigerian women. We will surely miss her.
The outpouring of grief and tribute was a testament to Lao's impact, leaving behind a legacy that will continue to inspire generations of women to come. Her memory will be deeply cherished and honored, even as her absence is deeply felt. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News Desk.
If you are just joining us, you are watching the news on Clearview News Desk. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us. Become a positive thinker. No matter how dark things seem to be or actually are, raise your sight and see the possibilities. They are always there. Malawi's Vice President Solus Chilima and 9 others have been killed in a plane crash while traveling to Mzuzu to attend the funeral of a former government minister on Tuesday. According to President Lazarus Chikwera Chilima, the small military plane they were traveling in crashed in bad weather in a mountainous region in the north of the country. Meanwhile, Chakwera has announced that the wreckage of the plane had been located after a search of more than a day in thick forest and hilly terrain near the northern city of Mzuzu. He described Chilima as a good man, a devoted father and husband, a patriotic citizen who served his country with distinction, and a formidable vice president. Those who died on the plane were former Vice Lady, the ex-wife of former President Bakili Mulusi, among others. The group was traveling to Mzuzu to attend the funeral of a former government minister. The late vice president had just returned from an official visit to South Korea on Sunday. Benin Republic players have been celebrating former Super Eagles coach Kanot Raw, who was behind their victory. Benin Republic defeated Super Eagles for the first time ever in international football on Monday, June 10th. Recollect, coach Kanot Raw was sacked in 2021. The Nigerian team's recent defeat to Benin Republic has been termed as a revenge mission for Kanot Raw. Nigeria's recent defeat to Benin Republic has remained a heated topic across social media platforms. Malawi's Vice President Solus Chilima and 9 others died after the small military plane they were traveling in crashed in bad weather in mountainous region in the north of the country while traveling to Mzuzu to attend the funeral of a former government minister on Tuesday. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo congratulates Nigerians on the celebration of Democracy Day on Wednesday, 12th June, while calling on Nigerians to appreciate the progress that has been made and look forward to a better future for the country's democracy. We also told you that African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, in partnership with the Side-by-Side Movement for Gender Justice, have stressed the need for increased collaboration between governments at all levels and other relevant stakeholders to end gender-based violence in Nigeria. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Imefon Okon.
We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it the People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We'll verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.